what do you think about like the younger generation just not drinking?
I think so. In a way, I think it's good because alcohol is so damaging, and I think it's there's so many parts of the world where alcohol is just not a part of the culture, and people still manage to have a good time. Like I'm really into Mormon influencers. There's this group that not like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but there's this group of Mormons who all like went to BYU Hawaii. They're all hot as hell. They all have kids when they're 23, get married at 20, kids at 21 or 22, 23. And they don't drink coffee. They do drink like Monster energy drinks, I think, but they don't drink coffee. They don't smoke. They don't do drugs. They don't drink alcohol. They definitely fuck. And I like follow these people and they have so much fun.
Mhm.
And part of that is it's social media, like a lot of it's just a farce, but this is a culture that still manages to have a good time without alcohol even being a second thought. And that's just not how I grew up. Everybody around me drank, and if you didn't drink, there was probably something wrong with you. Like that
Yeah.
indicated something shameful. And that's just not how the world is. There's a lot of places in the world where people just don't drink. So I think like embracing the fact that you don't need alcohol or drugs to have a good time is great. The problem is that from the data that I've seen, it looks like they also aren't doing the other things that you should be doing to have a good time. Like they're not seeing each other in person. They're not having sex. Like, and obviously
Mhm.
there are risks to things like sex, but it seems as though the reason they're not drinking is because they're spending most of their time alone on their phones. And that to
Right.
me seems just like a recipe for dysfunction.
Right.
So if you could leave the alcohol, but still go and have parties and like do the things that young people are supposed to do, that would be great. But I was thinking about this the other day. Like when I was a kid, when I was
I love
15,
it. Yeah, go
right,
on.
when I was 15 and my parents left me home alone for a weekend, and I didn't just have a party, I took their car and I drove their car around town to
Yeah,
go buy alcohol with my fake ID when I was like everybody did shit like
you
that. I
can't do
wasn't
it
exce
anymore.
you can't do that anymore because your parents all have a fucking ring cam.
Everybody in your
They have a
neighborhood
tracker.
does.
Everybody in your neighborhood
Yeah.
does.
We
They're
talked
you
about
just
this actually just on Dumpster Fire, and maybe it was I said somebody tweeted this, and maybe it was your tweet talking about this. And we were talking about it in regards to the people who were, the, like, couple that went viral.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, they tricked it like, we don't need Big Brother. They just tricked
No.
us into all being Big Brother for each other.
Totally.
I'm like, I used
Totally.
to do the same thing, take my dad's car, drive around. Now your neighbor would be like, "Hey, Freddie,
Yeah.
did you know your
Yes.
daughter took your car?" And, like,
Yes.
post it. I was like, "What?" I
Yes.
mean, the way I was joking about it was like, "What? You just can't go on a run and take your dick out anymore." You should
God,
just be able
the
to
good old
run and
days. This used to
take
be
your
a country.
this used to
Yes.
be a proper country.
Yeah.
You could go on a
Yeah.
run and give your dick some air, and now
Exactly.
you're a sex predator.
Exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I think we have lost something with, like, living in a surveillance state that we've all opted into for sure,
Mhm,
and I'm
mhm.
glad that I'm not growing up in that. Like, I was texting with my nephew yesterday who just turned 15, and I asked if he was doing driver's ed. He's doing it online. He's learning to drive on the fucking computer. I mean,
Wow.
presumably, there will also be, like, an in-person portion, like, presumably, he will have to test drive a car at some point, but just shit like that.
Jaron and I talk about how our kid might not ever need to
Drive.
know how to drive,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which is crazy to me,
Yeah.
crazy, but
Yeah.
why would she? Like,
Right.
driverless cars are truly taking over,
Yeah.
and it's a weird trade-off because we look at a lot of the boomers in our life who are getting self-driving cars, and it's, of course, the
Really?
because it gives them the ability
Yes.
to still drive beyond when they probably should be
Yeah.
driving.
Which seems that's great, actually. That's, like,
The
extending the amount of
freedom.
time that you have freedom in your life is great.
So I think it's on the one hand, that is a benefit that I hadn't really considered that I'm now seeing the effects of with a lot of people's parents in their life. They're just opting into self-driving cars because their brains are still there, their
Yeah.
capacity is still there. They can still focus, but maybe at night they're not as good and their reflexes aren't as quick.
Right.
And
Right.
so that you can really let the car take over for you and trust that you'll I mean, it's crazy to think something like I got my license the day after I
Me
turned
too.
16.
Me too, same thing. Although I failed the test the first time, so it
Me
was
too,
the
'cause
next
I'm a girl. I would've got it on my 16th birthday, but I failed because 'cause I'm a girl.
Same.
I talked to so many females and they're like, "Yeah, I failed the first time." They're like, "Women are worse drivers."
I'm a bad driver. My wife is a great driver, but I'm a bad driver.
No,
But
I'm a
she
good
drives like a
driver.
man.
I am. I'm a good driver. It just I blame the fact that I was in Minnesota and it snowed and I
Mm.
couldn't see that it was a one-way, like, the sign was halfway covered in snow, and so I turned into the wrong lane. It was, like, quite a
Oh, come
minor
on. Minor. Yeah.
infraction.
Yeah.